suppose that in case of GDP, so GDP of 100 country for 10 years. So if you run a cross section, then you bound to work with the 100 observations for a particular year. With the time series, you will have only 10 years of data. But when you work, when we make that data as a panel, then in that case, we will have 100 into 10, that one is 1000 observations. So panel data enlarges our observations, and we know the law of large number. Okay, larger number of observations are beneficial, that give us the robust results. So that is the one advantage. The second advantage, and that is coming from the endogeneity problem. So I don't know how many of you know about the endogeneity problem. Anybody would like to tell? Okay, let me go ahead with that then. So if you recall one assumption of linear regression model, where we assume that there is no correlation between error term and explanatory variable. No correlation between error term and explanatory variable. So no correlations mean exogeneity assumptions. When you have a correlation, so whenever that assumption violates, that means when you have a correlation between error term and explanatory variable, that problem called the endogeneity problem. And the consequences of endogeneity problem are very severe. So so whenever regression models suffer with this particular problem, we get a biased and inconsistent result, and that biasness, inconsistency do not go away even if we enlarge our sample size up to infinity. And again, the solution does not lie within the OLS. We have to go beyond the OLS, and that is the reason why we do panel data regression model. Okay. So that one is the second advantage. Of course, when we look the regions of endogeneity problem, then we find then the omitted variable is the one region. Sometimes what we do, we mistakenly omit one of the explanatory variable which are important for our regression model. And if that variable has any relation with the existing variable that we have already included into the model, then that causes a endogeneity problem. Second one is some variable we can't observe at all. Since we can't observe, we can't measure. So that create a problem of endogeneity. Some variable we can observe but can't measure. So if you leave out those variable without accounting, and if you leave out those variable, again the regression model suffer with the endogeneity problem. So there are various regions, and these are some of the important regions for the endogeneity problem. And probably that is the reason why we do the panel data regression. So when we do the panel data regression model, of course, there is a vast theory behind it, but of course, I'm not going to touch those theory. So in practice, when we work with the panel data, we work in a two part. In a one part, we make our data as a longitudinal data. So I call that as a part of the data management. Okay. We prepare our data for running panel data regression model. And in the second part, we estimate panel data regression. So if you can, then after a long time, after a long time, I'm giving an online lecture. So I miss sharing slide with you. So let me share my slide. So open system preference. Just a minute. So I'm using MacBook, so I have to give a permission. Yeah. Okay. So sorry guy, here I have to quit and then I am joining back, okay, so that I can share my screen with you all. So
Sure, sir, you can.
yeah,
In the MacBook also, the placement of the share button is the same. At the bottom of the screen, the third button.
that I can find, but I haven't. I think in past I didn't allow sharing, so I have to allow that. Do you want to leave meeting? Yes, leave. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, yes, sir, we are.
So I'm sharing my entire screen. Yeah, this one.
Yes.
Yeah, now you can.
Yeah, it is seen now.
So where is PPT? So this one is my PPT. Okay. So this was I talking about when you work with the panel data. Okay. Then you work in a two part. In a one part.
Sir, you can share it in a full screen mode. Sir.
Yeah. Yeah, this one. I hope it is fine now.
Yeah.
So I was telling you when we work with the panel data regression model, we work in a two part. In a one part, we work with the data, make our data in a longitudinal format, because longitudinal, only with the longitudinal form we can estimate the panel data regression model. So that I called up data management part, and in the second part we do the estimation. So in a panel regression part, once we decide between fixed effect and random effect, we estimate that model and do the diagnosis testing. So as everybody know, there are two methods for panel data estimation: fixed effect method and random effect method. And we choose between fixed effect and random effect using a Hobson test. Okay, there is also a test for fixed effect and random effect. So if there is a no random effect and there is also no fixed effect, then in that case we can use pool regression. If there is a fixed effect, then of course we go with that only. If there is a random effect, no fixed effect, then we do the random effect model. So we'll talk about all those things in a detail when I come to the method. And once we make a choice between fixed effect and random effect method, we estimate the model and do the diagnosis testing, in which we test for heterozygosity, autocorrelation, contemporaneous autocorrelations. And after then, we do the remedial measures if you find any problem to our model. So this is what we do. So okay. So okay. So when basically, if I talked about the data management part, then of course we need a data to work with the regression model. So for panel data, and we require a data in a particular format that we call a longitudinal format, and data that we generally get, that we get in a wide format. So I gave you two Excel file. If I open one file, then let's open first GDP file. So if I open that, then look here, this data was downloaded from the World Bank. So World Bank Development Indicator. So I downloaded the GDP data, and the data set comes without this GDP. And if you read the variable name, then I named that one is GDP 1990. So 1990 I assigned to it GDP I assigned to it when it was actually come. So in the first row, C column onward, we are having year only, 1990, 1991, something like this. Okay. So this and so on. So this called a wide form data. And when we work with the panel, we require to convert this one to the longitudinal form. And for converting such type of data to the longitudinal form, what we do, since this one is the GDP data, so we prefix year with the GDP. So GDP and then GDP. So that is already done with this particular data that I have shared with you. So we prefix year with the GDP. So that we did for the all years. So I downloaded data from 1990 to 2019, and after downloading the data, I prefixing the GDP with here. Second part one is the here the country code. So the first column one is the country name, second one is the column one is the country code. So look here, and the country name is fine, but in a country code you are having a abbreviation of all the countries. So it's a Aruba, and it's World Bank code Aruba is ABW in a capital letter. Afghanistan is AFG, and so on. So these are the country code. So we get a data in one data we get in such a format. It's called a wide data. Sometimes we get a data in a longitudinal format. So if you download the data from the FAO, then we'll get a data in a such format. And this format called a longitudinal format. So first one is the country code, the second one is the country, third one is the year, and the fourth one is the meet. So it's a meet data. And look here, the year variable and meet variable are here, and in a country variable, first country is Afghanistan, which has numeric country code 2, and data is spanned from 1961 to 2019. So Afghanistan case, it is 2013. Albania, similarly, you can have a look on the Albania. So Albania also goes till 2030. So it is a data till 2013, sorry. So this called the longitudinal data. And this is the format in which we need a data for working with the panel data regression model. But as we can see here, if you want to work with these two variables, then one variable you are getting in a wide form, other variable you are getting in a long form. Okay, sometimes you also get both of the two data files, in a wide form or in a long form. If you get a data file in a long form, then there is a not much issue how we use this data for a panel data regression model. But most of the time, since we get the different data from the different sources, so we'll also get the data in a different format. So the one issue is with the formatting of the data. Okay, whether you are getting a data in a longitudinal format or in a wide form. Second one is relating with the code, country codes, or with the ID variable. So let's suppose that as a social science students, we work with the World Bank data, we work with the IMF data, we work with the UN data, we work with the FAO data, and several other international source data. So like here, I took a two example, two data source. One is from the World Bank, one is from the FAO. So look here, if you have a look on the country code for the FAO, then you are having a numeric country code. But in case of World Bank, we are having a non-numeric country code. That in case here we are having a letter. Then the questions arises, if you require to combine these two data sets, then how we will do that? Let's suppose that we want to work with these two data sets. Okay. So in one data set, one variable is GDP, another data set, one variable is meat. And you want to have to check the correlation causation between the meat consumption and GDP. Okay. Then in that case, okay, it required a common file, okay, or a file, okay, which has a country code of both World Bank and FAO. So basically, we required a file. Using that, you can concord your data. That means you concord World Bank data with the GDP data, okay, or even World Bank data with the event data, because different international organizations use a different codes, country codes. Okay, so for that. Okay, I'll come to that later. Let's focus on the first part, when we have a data in a different format, okay, even with the same country code. So what we do in that case, so let's suppose that this data set one is the GDP data, okay, which has come in a wide form. So we require to convert this data to the longitudinal form. And how we do that, that you can do along with me. So for that, so I'm closing this one. Okay. So for that, you open this data and import this particular file. And how we import that? Go to the file, then go to the import, then Excel spreadsheet, click onto the Excel spreadsheet, locate your file wherever that is. So in my case, it is in download folder. I made a folder by name of Christ University, and I can see here this one is my GDP data file. So I'm opening this one. I hope everybody know how to import the Excel file onto this data. If not, then follow this procedure that I am doing. Again, I am telling go to the file, then import, then Excel spreadsheet, then locate your file, click onto that, open that file, and in the box you can select import first row as a variable name, and you will get data. It has on the stack. And still it is in wide form. So if you browse your data by clicking on B, let me increase the front 12 to 18. I'm quoting. So if you browse your data typing BR, then you can see that the data is in same format what it was in Excel. So it is still in wide form. Any doubt till here? Are you doing with me?
Any doubt, please ask.
Hi, sir.
Participants. Yeah.
Hello, sir. My name is Shrey Goel.
Yes, Ray.
Sir, actually, I'm not getting the right panel.
Not getting the right
Right panel. Like same as yours. I have imported the
Right panel. Okay, this one, variable panel.
yeah.
So go to the window. This, just a minute, let me minimize this one. Go to the window, and from there you select variable pan. Look here, variable detail. We click onto that become a part of this data.
Oh, actually the variable panel is there, but the formatting is you are getting as in the name label.
No, are you opening the data that I have shared with you?
Yes, the same data.
Yes.
I have imported it. I have
Yeah.
also imported it.
But you are not getting label. Let's import again with me. So I'm clear my going to
Do I
clear
have
my
to
memory.
close the software and again open it, or
I'm using Stata 17 but
okay, we have 13.
in 13 also we get the label. Earlier I was using 13 only. So go to the import, then Excel, then
Right.
browse your data,
Uh-huh.
then click onto the first box, import first row as a variable name.
Okay, that I didn't do.
Okay. And then in that case we are probably getting ABCD.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. I'll do it again.
Yeah.
Let you know.
Yeah. So we got the data onto this data. Now we are going to make it in a longitudinal form. So for making a data in a longitudinal form, the command one is reshape. Okay, but before that you name your rename one variable, that is the country code _ World Bank. So that you rename as a country code simply. So that we require to type less and less. So country code. So rename your variable country code variable with the country code and then after you type this command reshape, and since this particular data set has only GDP variable, so they type GDP and then comma I, and then under bracket we type country code, and then J under bracket we type year. And before reshape you type reshape long, because you are going to make a longitudinal data. Reshape long GDP I under bracket country code, then J under bracket year. So I and J are two dimension. I dimension and country code takes a I dimension, year takes a J dimension. Because in a panel data you know you are having a 2 dimension cross sectional and time. So that's what you are assigning. So I'm assigning country code because country are the cross sectional here and cross sectional variable, and here is the time variable. So when we enter, look here, the data has changed to the longitudinal format. Okay. So earlier the number of observation in a wide format was 264. Now it converted to 7,920. Earlier the number of variable was 32. Now it converted to 4. Okay. And you can see the changes in variable window also. If you browse your data, then now it's look like this. Okay. So now this data set is in longitudinal format. You can save this data, save GDP. And then you clear your memory. As you're done, you let me know if proceed further.
It's showing that file gtv.dta could not be opened.
DTA? What message is showing?
File gdb.dta could not be opened.
You are not opening DTA file.
No, like as it is showing in your screen, it is file saved,
Yeah.
right? Mine is showing file could not be opened. Don't know why.
You type this command, save GDP. Just save GDP. Not working.
No, sir.
Then you type save GDP, comma replace. This one, save GDP, comma replace. So replace is for overwriting file. So I'm just experimenting. Otherwise, save GDP work with all version
Okay,
of this data.
I'll
It's a basic command.
It's not
I'll
working, sir.
check.
It's same, it is coming file gdp.dta could not be opened. With the command of save gdp also and save gdp comma replace also, we're getting the same response.
So message is again.
Ca-
Can you read again?
Sir, Krishna, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you that student, no one who is telling about the problem? Can you? They can show the screenshot so that we can resolve the problem.
Yeah.
If they show.
What
Huh?
about the others? All are getting the same problem.
Oh, what about the others?
Yeah.
No, sir, it's perfectly fine. No, sir, it's
Problem.
Okay, so okay, fine. Then we should touch the grassroots level. So these those who are facing the problem, one of them, I don't remember who is that. Please just share the screen so that can I, are we doing so? The one who was telling the problem, can you show the screen whatever the problem you are facing?
Sir, I have shared on the group.
Not in the group, in the presentation, no? In
Okay,
the
sir.
presentation, show your screen.
Sir, I'm using two screens, so I have switched on my camera.
Okay. Okay. So I think sir, is it visible, sir? Krishna, sir?
Just check. I was checking the WhatsApp message. Just a minute. It's not visible to me, but how I?
I also feel the same. I'm not able to get.
Presentation is not visible. My presentation is visible. So shall I stop sharing?
For a moment, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah, because
I stop sharing my screen.
Yes, sir. So it's Shrey, and I'm
Yes, I can see your.
Hello.
Yeah.
Actually,
So-
Krishna sir.
Yeah.
Actually, the problem is they have saved it as save GPD, then they are trying to save GDP. That's why there is a problem. If I can see it clearly, save GPD they have done. So name they have incorrectly typed.
No,
Okay.
name hardly matter.
Then they are trying to save one and open another, GDP and GPD.
GDP only.
The screen
Yeah,
in bottom
spelling doesn't matter at all in this case because
because
no, whatever in the data, no, the variable's name also matters, no, sir?
It's a file name.
Okay, file name, huh?
It's
Okay.
a file name. You can give any file name. Okay, that up to you. The problem with the software. Okay, so might you are not using the installed version of the software, so that.
Actually, I have shared this Stata 13 version to everyone, and hopefully everyone is using the same. and
Yes, sir.
one is facing the problem. So, okay, we will continue. Sreha, what is the name? Srey, no?
Srey,
Oh,
meanwhile, you may do one thing: close your data, then reopen, and then again import your data. Probably in that case, that will work.
work.
Okay, sir.
So, sir, you continue it. Huh?
Yeah,
So,
I'm
yeah,
continuing.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
So I'm sharing my screen again. Can you see my
No,
screen?
sir, I have one doubt. Hello.
Yes.
Sir, I have done I have done your steps and it's perfectly fine. Like it's showing on my screen, but I want to know the rationale behind your command. Like reshape long is for login to long code is for
Longitudinal, yeah.
longitudinal,
Yeah.
GDP
GDP is
and
the
I
variable.
like GDP is the
Variable.
okay.
I prefix air with the GDP, remember? So,
Yes.
and it's a
Okay, and
GDP and data on that side.
so what is I like?
The panel data has two dimensions. One is the cross-sectional and other is the panel. So remember, when you work with the cross-sectional data, we prefix our variable and coefficient value with I and subscript with I करते हैं ना, that I represent here cross-sectional and J represent time. So
Okay.
cross-sectional variable is here country code and the time variable is here air.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so we make our data set as a longitudinal data. So I'm going to close this one. So I'm going to clear my memory and going to import another data, which one is in CSV file. So for that, you follow the same procedure: import, then choose the second option, text data, in bracket is written and delimited CSV, and then you locate your file. So in my case, it was in Christ folder. So now it has come. Delimiter, yeah. First row as a variable name is given automatic. So you can take that. Keep the variable name as a lowercase, that we do. Rest are by default you are getting, so go ahead with that. Country is string variable, country code numeric, year numeric, meet numeric. Okay. Then you click onto the OK, and you in a moment data will come. Just a minute. Time. So it's taking longer than usual time. Okay, let it work. It is not working. And I'm unable to click on any other button, so I don't know. Have you people done?
sir.
Yes, sir, it is done.
In my case, it is loading. And I'm unable to do this.
So must be a system hang.
Might be. Let me check. How you correct that? I hardly face such type of problem. Mac. Okay, let me open Stata again. So it was creating a problem. So again, I'm importing the CSV file. So import CSV. Then locating my file. Yeah, this one. Open. And then clicking on OK. I think this OK has problem. Again, it is doing the same.
So try please click on the submit. No? Maybe it works.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not getting my lower panel again. Yeah, trying to.
Sir, please try submit option.
Yeah, I will do that, but let me first get out of this. The lower panel is not coming. Okay, that's when that come, then I force quit. Otherwise, I have to switch off my computer and then.
Sir, I think your system is hang. So
Yeah, it seems like. Okay, I'm going to switch off my computer. Okay. Okay, I'm back. So Krishna is starting to share content. Okay, can you hear me?
So,
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, let me do that again. And this time I will do like this. So I'm going on to the file, then import, then this one. Then selecting my file, then open, and then submit. Let's do this. Yes, data in memory. I do not have any data in memory.
Sir, you need to click OK now.
Yeah, it has come. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Anyway, it has come. Otherwise, you need to write this command: import delimited and then file name. So once you work with your directory, that means if your data file is in your directory folder, then you can directly type the right file name, otherwise the path of the file name. So that is the command. Anyway, let's back to our discussion. So this one is our data. So this is in longitudinal format. You can save this data as a meet. So save meet, because it is a meet data. Okay. Now look, we have a two data, both are in longitudinal form. One is the meet and the other one is GDP. If you want to combine these two data, okay, then we can't do that. Why we can't do that? Because for combining any two data file, you require a common variable in both of the data file. Here we also have a common variable, that is the country code, but the code are coded in a differently in these two data set. So in one data set, code are coded as a country code. The other data set, the code are coded as a in a one data set, country codes are coded as a numeric code, and in the other data set, country code are coded as a non-numeric forms. So we can't combine those two data set. So for combining these two data set, we required another file, okay, where we have a code of both World Bank and World Bank country code and FAO country code. And we have a file of that. So FAO provide that files. So earlier, FAO, when I was doing my PhD and about to work with this data, by that time there was no such file provided by the FAO. Okay, but at that time there was a Stata documents. Okay, it was a paper published by some authors. Okay, I think and the paper title was the K country. Okay, K country, and we used that paper for combining the data file. But in this day, I think 2000, probably 2013, 14 onward or 17, 18 onward, if we start providing a file which has a code of and which has a country code of almost all international bodies, and country code of all country code used by the all international bodies. So that we have. So the one data file that I have shared with you, that one is the code DTA. So I also have a Excel file of that. So if I open that Excel file for you, that is not here, so it is somewhere else. Okay, for the time being, leave that Excel file. Just open this code data file that I have shared with you. So if you clear this data file and open the code file, so if you are working with your current directory, then directly type use code and that will open. So this one is the code data file, and in the variable we can see here we are having a short name, official name, ISO 3, ISO 2, UNI, UNDP, FO stat, and GAUL. So I think World Bank used ISO 3 country code for coding the country. FO stat has its own country code. UNDP has its own country code. So across across the world, almost all the organizations use either one of the country codes format. So if I browse this data for you, then you can see here official name of the country are given, then short name of country are given, then the country codes are given. So the FO stat country code are here, and ISO 3, which is used by the World Bank, that is also here. So what do? We merge our both of the data file, mean data file and serial data file, first with the country code, and after then we merge GDP data and mean data. So for that, what we do, so this one is the code file that I have shared with you. So first we require to rename this file. So we type rename, and ISO 3 or ISO 3 we can type here country code, or may you save this data file with a different name. Let's suppose that code 1, and now we start renaming your data. I saved it as a different file so that you can preserve your master file. So rename, and ISO 3 we can code as a country code. Okay. And then
I have a doubt here.
Yeah.
Actually, code file is not like not the code shows file code.dta not found.
Yeah, it's not found, and that is the message, not found.
Yes, sir.
So that then the code file is not in your current working directory. So first you check your working directory, pwd. Type pwd. Everybody type pwd. So in my case, it is coming out download and then Christ. So it is in download. I made a folder there. Sorry, Christ. Everybody getting that? And not like this,
Yes, sir.
but probably you are getting some message there. Now what we do? Either you can change your working directory. So we can create a folder on the desktop or anywhere wherever you want, and make and put all your data, everything that I have given to you there. If you are already having a folder, then and everything to that, then that's okay. You do not require to do anything else. So create a folder or make it has already been created, then that's okay. But your all data should be in a one folder. That's what I mean here. Bring all the data that are scattered here and there to that folder. And after that, type cd. cd is for change directory. If that folder is not your current directory, and make that folder as your current directory. So in my case, since Christ folder is already my current directory. So for changing a working directory, copy the path and under code paste that path and enter. And after then you type use code. Are you doing along with me? Making a directory folder is the first lessons when you work with any software, either that is R, Stata or SAS, whatever. So that all our data should be in one place, and whatever we save, that also be saved in that place only.
Sorry,
Is
it's showing
everybody done?
unable to change to C. Sorry, unable to change the directory.
How? Type this command cd. Cd is for changing directory. Then copy the path of the folder.
I done that, but it's showing unable to. Let me try it once more.
So first we have to copy the path of the folder in the earlier one, and then
No,
that path we have.
first you check your current working directory. If your current working directory is not the folder where you saved your data, then you are required to change working directory. And when you change your working directory, so you make that folder where you have all the data as your current working directory. For that you type cd. In my case, Christ folder was already a present working directory. So then we type cd. Cd is here represent change directory, and then under code you type your path, folder path. Let me do one more time for you. Like let's suppose that I'm going to create a folder. I'm creating
Yes, sir,
one.
it's done now.
Done. Yeah. Then you type use code. Let me clear this one. Type use code. Code is the data file that I have shared with you. Then save this as a code1 data file. So since I have already saved, so I have to do the replace. And then you rename. Which one you are renaming? You are renaming ISO 3 with the country code. Country code. And then save replace. Done.
Sir,
Hmm?
still it's showing that the code file is not found. I have changed the code directory as you have shown, pwd, then cd, and then still it's showing that
Is data
file.
there? Is data there in your current working directory?
Yes, sir. I have copied it.
Copied it. Then you double click. Forget about it. Close your data. Double click onto that, and then you let me know what message is coming out.
Where to double click, sir?
Double click on the code data file.
Acha.
That is already in data format, no? So that open automatically.
Okay, sir.
What about the others? Others have opened?
It's done, but I want to ask one thing. When I have typed save code 1, comma replace, the next error which shows on my screen is note file code1.dta not found, but after that it is showing file code1.dta saved. So
ठीक
is
है,
it okay?
yeah, that's okay.
ठीक. Okay.
So after then, we require to merge our GDP file to this data file. So what we do for that, we type
Hello, sir,
merge.
I'm not getting. Please explain once again.
Which one?
Just importing this file. CSV file, sir.
CSV file. I think we have done that. CSV file. We import it. Yeah, you do the same.
FAOST this file, sir. So third one, sir. Third one.
Yeah. FO stat one. No?
Yeah, sir.
So the file that I have shared in a CSV format that has meat consumption information. So you import that data file, go to the file, then import, then text data, locate your file, okay, and then click on submit and then OK. So I'm not going to do that in a fear that again my computer hang. Okay. Otherwise, if you do not want to do that and your CSV file is in your current directory, so let me clear this one. Then you type inset was the command or something else. No, import delimited. It's a new command. Inset was the probably inset work with the earlier version of this data. So in my case, it would be the import delimited and then FO stat data file. So I can use this one also. But best to import the data using file option. It has come. So go to the file, then import, then text data and import. Okay. Sorry.
When I am double clicking on the code file in the folder, it is showing that this app can't run on your PC. So what's the problem with
Sorry,
this?
this?
It is showing that this app cannot run on your PC.
Oh.
When I am double clicking on the code file in the folder, then it is showing that this app cannot run on your PC.
And then you can open that using Stata. Right click, select the Stata program and open.
Okay.
Okay. Otherwise, you can directly use this particular code. Na? Use code and enter.
It's not working. Use code.
The use code only work when your code data file is in your current working directory. Otherwise, does not work.
Can you repeat the whole process to how to make it in the current directory and all? Because I'm stuck only here at the error problem.
Yeah, that is important. So type pwd and check your current working directory.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Current working directory क्या है अभी आपका?
Is showing like local and C drive.
हाँ आगे बस सी ड्राइव शो कर रहा है, आगे फोल्डर भी तो बता रहा होगा ना कौन सा फोल्डर है?
आगे फोल्डर है यूजर्स करके, बट in that folder my file is not.
हाँ तो आप चेंज उसके बाद देन यू चेंज योर डायरेक्टरी cd टाइप कीजिए एंड अंडर कोड डबल इन्वर्टेड कॉमा वो जो फोल्डर का जो पाथ है उसको कॉपी करके यहाँ पेस्ट कर दीजिए.
Okay, sir.
Like in my case, let's suppose that if this one is my path, so paste that path and close with the inverted comma.
Okay,
And then
sir.
enter. चेंज हो जाएगी वर्किंग डायरेक्टरी.
Okay, sir.
उसके बाद आप यूज वाला कमांड यूज कर लीजिए.
Done, sir. Done.
Yes, that's good. So after then you rename your ISO 3 variable with the country code. As a next step, I'm going to merge GDP data file with this particular data file. So what we this particular file, this is the not. So what for that we type merge. Merge is command for merging, and then 1:m. And then country code. This one is the common variable using GDP. And enter. As you enter, we get here the GDP variable has become a part of this data set.
I think Krishna sir, I missed. I did not merge it.
Do merge 1:m, then country code variable, then using GDP. So we are importing GDP data. So we are importing GDP information to this data.
First, you have to open GDP file or?
No, you have to open code file in this case.
Okay.
I have opened the code file. If you are you have opened the GDP file, then code reverse. So instead of writing 1:, that I will tell later. First you do this one. Open code file and then you type this command.
It's still variable country code not found.
First you rename your country code is not there. Na? Code में देखो ISO 3 है. Open code.
Yes.
Because open code.
Yes.
Find ISO 3 there. Rename that to the country code.
Yes. Yeah, I renamed again, same problem. File gdp.dpi.
सेव करो ना, सेव करो, सेव रिप्लेस करो. Again you open that and rename and save replace. Save replace.
Okay.
And now we can type this command. Merge command is for merging the data set. And there are different type of merging. One type is 1:1, other is the 1:multiple, and the third one is multiple to multiple. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a query regarding the merge, but not related to this current data set. Can I ask?
Yes.
Sir, I have monthly data of returns. So I'm trying to merge this master file with the file containing the industry code and the company codes. But I'm using n:1 command, but it is not matching. It is coming only the variables that are in the using command that are matched with the
uniquely
master file.
identified. Yeah. So basically, in your master data, where you are having a quarterly data, you are having a multiple observations of a particular country. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And in using data, where you are having only country code.
Yes, sir.
So in a using data, you are having only one observations of a one country, but in a master
Yes.
data, you are having a multiple observation of a one country.
Yes, sir.
In that case, if you are working, if you have opened master data, and the data set that you have opened called the master data mainly.
Yes, sir.
So for that you type merge m:1.
Yes, sir. I have tried that, but in the master file.
No,
Yes,
let me
yes, sir. Yes,
type
sir.
1 m:1. Then you type the common variable name, which are in both of the data. Probably that would be the country name, country code, basically country code using data file name. Now you tell me what is the problem.
Yes, sir. When I merge this, it is coming that not matched around 9 lakh observation and matched only 8,000 observation. That is which is in the using file. That are only matched with the master data. I want that the company code should come in front of the each of the observations, but it is only coming in the around 8,000 observations, not in the total sample.
No, that is probably happening because you do not have a country code for the remaining countries in
No,
the
sir.
using data file.
No, sir. In the using data file, I have the codes for all the countries, and in the master data, like if I have observation from 1996 to 2020, it is coming only for the first observation for each country, not for the subsequent observations for each country.
Then there will be some issue with your data. First check you have any country code. You have a correct country code for the one country. It might be that one country having a different, but how that would be?
Yes, sir.
In your master data, one country must be having a one code, one unique code.
In master data, only country name is there. Country code is not there.
And in using data?
Country name, and country code.
And then you are facing a problem. Probably the spelling are different.
Okay.
For some of the country, the spelling of country name is different in your master data and different in your using data.
No, sir. But when I merge, the company code is country code is coming in the front of the first observation of each company name in the merged file, not for all the subsequent observations.
It can't be the case. I think you can share your data later with me. Then I will be able to tell you. Okay.
Sure, sir. If you can share your...
It has to do with the data, not with the procedure. We are doing a right procedure. Okay. But probably the problem lies with the data. Okay.
So if you can share your mail ID, I will mail you the data file after the session.
Yeah, that you can do. Otherwise, sometimes you come to my university and meet me in person. I will solve that issue.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, when I do rename ISO 3 country code, it is showing variable ISO 3 not found.
How that not found? It is. Can you see that ISO 3 on the screen?
Oh, right. It's a country code, country, year, meet. I'm seeing. Only 4 variables I'm able to.
नहीं वो मीट जीडीपी वाले को नहीं करना है ना, कंट्री कोड वाले डेटा को ओपन करना है आपको. ओपन कोड डेटा, कोड फाइल दिया हो ना, ओपन दैट फाइल, दैट हैज ISO 3, ISO 2, UNI. This one, let me clear this data. Use code 1. In my case, it was code 1. यहाँ है ना, देखो कंट्री कोड मैंने रीनेम कर दिया है तो, लेकिन लेबलिंग में ISO 3 दिखा रहा है अभी भी. If I open the master data for you, then look here, ISO 3 given here. Code 1, so name and rename ISO 3 with the country code, and then you use this command merge 1:m, which I call 1:m country code using GDP, and then you save that data as a GDP1 probably. So let me do that command again. Merge 1:m country code, then using GDP, and save this data. Okay, before saving, we may do one thing. You can drop merge and can drop merge. We can also drop GAUL, that is not required. FO, UNDP, UNI, ISO2 not required. Rest you may keep. Okay. And then you save this one as GDP1. So save GDP1, and then you again go to your code file, code 1. And in code file, now you have to rename. You may drop country code from here, ISO2 here, UNI here, UNDP here, GUL here, and drop any country code, ISO2, UNI, UNDP, and GUL. And rename this one is FO start with the country code. It's a bit long procedure, but you can rename this one also with the country code. Okay. And then you save this data, save code 2 करके, and now you can merge your meet data with this. So merge 1:1 country code using meet, right? Then look here, the meet data has also become a part of this. Okay.
So when I'm dropping country code, it says country code not found.
That's okay. Then drop merge from here again and save this data as a meet.
Okay.
Meet had already saying to save meet 1. Meet 1. And so country code is here. One more time you do one thing, rename country code with the FAO. FAO code.
So when I'm using the merge command is showing variable country code not found.
And then you require to rename करना होगा. देखो, have you renamed that?
Yes, sir. Rename ISO country code, rename FAO start country code.
Okay.
It's R111 error.
We are you check the error where probably we are making some mistake somewhere. But okay, let me work with me. So everybody, so we are having a code file, this one. So use code. यहाँ तक ओके है सारे लोग?
Yes, no.
ये डेटा है, ठीक है. Now we clear this one. Save this one as a data one. Sorry, code 1. सारे लोग करें मेरे साथ. Code 1 कर लिए?
Yes, sir.
Done?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then you rename this ISO 3 with the country code.
Now it's showing that ISO variable ISO not found.
You can see here, it is there, ISO 3. तो एक कंट्री कोड वर्ल्ड बैंक कर लो, WB. कंट्री कोड अंडर इसको WB. We can also rename FO stat with FAO code, sorry, country code FAO, एक ही साथ कर लो. वर्ल्ड बैंक FAO हो गया. नाउ यू कैन सेव दिस वन एंड रिप्लेस. इतना हो गया सारे लोग. Has everybody done?
So just give us 1 minute. Yes, so done.
Okay. Now you close this file and open Meet GDP file. Use GDP. So in this particular file, we are having a country code. So rename country code with country code World Bank, _ World Bank.
Sir, it says GDP data not found.
यूज GDP कर रहे हैं आप लोग और डायरेक्टरी में है आपके GDP डेटा भी?
हाँ.
नहीं, इस डेटा फॉर्मेट में है, DTA फॉर्मेट में?
Yes, sir.
नहीं, फिर नहीं होना चाहिए, फिर तो आना चाहिए. देखिए, चेक कीजिए फिर से दोबारा फोल्डर खोल के. डायरेक्टरी फोल्डर अगर आपकी करेंट वही that folder is your current working directory, that this command must work. Use GDP. स्पेलिंग वगैरह चेक कर लीजिए.
Yes, sir, it is in the same file, same folder.
And the same folder is your current working directory.
Yes, sir.
Okay. अच्छा, चलिए छोड़ दीजिए अभी उसको. Go to the file
Okay.
and open the data. Open, select your data wherever that is and open that. डेटा आ जाएगा. That is the base command and that's hold in all data version. So उसमें कहीं कुछ मिस्टेक कर रही होंगी आप, and probably because of that you are getting that error. So we can look onto that later. First you open the data. And then you rename your country code variable with country code World Bank. And after then you type this one merge. And this time we are typing M:1. Why M? Because you are having a multiple observation for a single country. And in a using data, you are having going to have only one observation for a single country. That's why M:1. If reverse is the case, then 1:M. That we did earlier. So merge 1:M and then country code World Bank variable and then using code 1 and enter. Look here, the GDP data has come. As that come, drop merge variable. And save this data as a GDP1. May replace that data, but you may save GDP1. When we done this, let me know.
So it's done.
Good.
Sir, my
I want to.
Yes, one by one. Rima first.
sir, my matched variables are coming to be 196 observations.
Oh. Same command you are using, merge m is to 1 country code.
Yes, sir. I've used all the commands that you have. Right now, you have again. I've used the same commands as per your commands only.
That can't be the case. None of the data set having such a low number of observation. Even the using data, this data file has 7,923 observations.
So shall I use the count like you have used?
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, so count is also showing 196 observations only.
Then,
Has it
then
any file, I suppose?
while importing, probably will did some mistake somewhere. Okay, so mistakenly we selected the range of the data also, and it was selected 196. So
Okay.
that would be the one reason. Yeah. So
Okay.
you can redo all these things. Okay. And
Okay. Thank you, sir.
okay. Anyway, you save this data, and now you can open your meet data. Use meet data.
Sir, I want to ask one thing. First, you have merged the two files, but what is the logic behind drop merge?
Because you are going to merge again. So when we do the merging on variable, underscore merge automatically created. If there is already a variable there, then you get an error in merging. So every time when we merge, this particular variable is created. And if there is already a variable by this name, we can't merge two data set. So you'll keep getting error. So that's why we have dropped this one. Now you can use open meet data, and in a meet data, since it is coming out from the FAO, so we can rename here also, rename country code with the country code FAO underscore FAO and save. And after then, what I am going to do, you can either merge this one with the code file, and then after merging with the code file, we can merge with the meet file. Or we
Sir,
can,
my variables panel is not changing according to the new file.
not changing.
Yeah, sir. I wrote use meet, and again it's showing short name, option name, ISO 3, ISO 2.
Then probably you did a mistake while saving your data. Okay. So that that's why we always keep our master data preserved. So we keep the master data separate, and we create a copy of the that data and work with that data, so that in a later stage, if you made any mistake, then you can and your master data keep preserved. Okay.
So sir, you will be sharing the code with us, right?
Yeah, code, country code. You can rename your country code with the country code FAO.
No, I'm asking, you will be sharing this data code, right?
No, I do not have this data code. Whatever I have, that I have before you. Okay. I do not have I do not have do file for it. Sorry. I have a do file for the panel data regression model, but not for this data management part.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. So I keep noting.
Krishna sir, I stopped that this merge m is m1 पे, तो I think मेरा हुआ नहीं. Kindly repeat.
This one, first one.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Rename done, but this merge m is to one that command. My result is showing variable country code WV not found.
Not found in using or master data?
Not found only.
No, we
I
are
use
merging.
this code.
No, we are merging GDP data with the country code file.
Okay.
GDP file with the country code file. So open GDP, rename that data file, and save as a GDP1 and close. Now you open the country code file, code 1 जो था, and check that the country code having a same has a same name. So country code underscore WB in also code data file. नाम सेम होना चाहिए.
ठीक है.
So if that is not same, then you rename that. And then you save and close that data file. Again, they open GDP data file. And type this command that work.
Copy paste the commands in the chat box or something like that if you don't have the do file.
Yeah, I do not have the do file. Okay, whatever I code that I have before you. If you say, then I'll copy all these things and give to you. But again, that has both correct and incorrect commands. So that.
So you can filter those things, but if you can just copy paste and give it to us, then it will be helpful.
Yeah, if that I will do. Okay, so.
Thank you, sir.
So Vikas, have you done?
I have the same issue again. I think save GDP1 I did.
Let do along with me. Other can also do, those who haven't done it. So I'm clear, Mehru. So open code 1 data file. Okay. And here you rename your ISO 3 variable with the country code underscore WB, as I have done here. Country code underscore WB. And close this data file. You can also rename FAO stat variable with country code underscore FAO. Very small letter.
Rename that country code WB. Yes.
Underscore WB.
Underscore WB.
What WB stand for? World Bank.
Yeah.
Similarly, we do for FAO stat. Country code underscore FAO.
In meet file that I have to rename.
In the code file. And save that as a code 1. कर लिया विकास आपने?
Sir, can you state the logic again behind m is to 1 and 1 is to m? Just can you repeat that part again?
अभी करता हूँ. पहले ये कर ले एक बार. Vikas, have you done?
No. I'm still facing some issue. Use code 1, rename iOS 3, country code WB. Then
again you do rename. Then you type country को FAO stat variable है उसको क्लिक करो. FAO stat variable है ना एक और उसमें.
yes.
हाँ उसको रीनेम करो.
उसको भी रीनेम करना.
हाँ उसको भी करो. And save your data with the code 1 as a code 1.
रीनेम कंट्री कोड अंडरस्कोर FAO को क्या रीनेम करूं कृष्ण सर?
वो ऑलरेडी रीनेम्ड है आपके डेटा में?
नहीं, FAO है, हाँ
ये है तो छोड़ दो, फिर ऑलरेडी है तो कंट्री
ठीक
कोड
है,
अंडर
उसके
स्कोर
बाद
FAO है उसमें ऑलरेडी।
हाँ हाँ इसमें है।
हाँ तो ठीक है, फिर सेव कोड 1 एंड रिप्लेस कर दो उसको। ये कमांड डालो, सेव कोड
ठीक है
1
डन।
रिप्लेस, and then you clear the memory and go to the GDP data. use GDP
हाँ
1, I think मेरे केस में था, नहीं GDP, use GDP, ठीक है, ये डेटा आएगा।
हाँ
Now you can rename here again country code with the country code World Bank underscore World Bank WB and save this data.
वर्ल्ड बैंक
Country code underscore WB.
हाँ डन।
Done na? Now you type merge, and this one is our master data file. And in the master data file, we are having multiple observations of a one country. क्योंकि ये पैन longitudinal data है, so one country having a GDP data for various years. So that why I am saying here we are having a multiple observations for a single country. So because of that reason I am typing here M. So M stands for multiple. And then colon, and then we type for the using data. So using data is our code data. And in a code data, you are having only one code for a single country or one observation for a single country. And because of that reason, I am typing here 1. So M is to 1. And then the common variable name, common variable is country code underscore World Bank. And then you type using, then using data file name, which one is the code 1. Vikas, are you doing? Other have done?
Yes, I am doing this. Now it's done for me.
Yeah. Now enter. The data has come. Now we can drop merge from here. Drop underscore merge. And you can save this data. Okay. You may save this one, save GDP1. Replace. So once you have done, clear the memory and import meet data. Meet data, use meet. And now I'm going to merge meet data with the GDP1 data. Why GDP1 data? Because our GDP1 data already having a FAO code also. देखो यहाँ FAO code भी है यहाँ पे, country code underscore FAO. So instead of merging with the code file, because this particular data also contain all the information that are in the code file, so I open the meet data. After then you rename country code with the country code FAO. Country code FAO. Save this one as a meet. Replace. And then you type merge 1 is to 1. Sorry, 1 is to M. No, sorry. Yeah, 1 is to 1. Then country code FAO and then year variable. And then using GDP1 variable. 1:1, because here you are using two common variable, and both of these two common variable uniquely identify each observation. Because for one country, we have a data for only 1 year. And if you for a one country, and you have a data for a multiple year, but for a 1 year, you have a data of one country at a one time only. So that's why 1:1 in both of the data file. Using GDP1, and if you enter is here variable country code FO year do not uniquely identify observation in the using data. Why so? For a year. Okay, so let's open the using data GDP1 and open the sort country code FAO and year, and then browse country code FAO and year. Can't be the case. Okay. I will tell you in a bit what I am doing and why I am doing this. Yeah, got it. Okay. Look, when I was doing this merge, it was showing that variable country code FAO year do not uniquely identify observation in the using data. That means country code and FAO, country code underscore FAO and year variable fail to identify each observation uniquely. So what I do I will do a testing for that. Why I am where is the problem? So still I haven't come with the problem, but I got to know the message that I am getting that are correct, and there is a problem with my data. So for that, what I am doing, I created an ID by concatenating these two variable, country code and year variable. We can also create an ID by grouping this, but I have done concatenating this. And then I have used this codebook command, and it's saying that unique value are only 5,823 out of 7,923 observations. Okay, that means if you go with this procedure, we can't merge both GDP data file and this particular data and the mean data file. So either I drop duplicate observation. So when I drop the duplicate observation, so the solution that is for this. Of course, first we identify the problem, but I'm not going to that procedure. Otherwise, that take a longer time. I'm just dropping duplicate observations. So drop duplicates ID and then force. Sorry. Duplicate drops. So that's called a duplicate drops. So duplicates drop ID force. So, and after then if I type the codebook command, then it's a unique value are 5,823 and missing value are 5,823. With this, I can merge the data file. So if I say name this one is the code 2 data file, then, or you can say the GDP3 data file, then it work. Now we try to understand the essence of the problem. Are you with me? Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
And this problem comes when we work with the data. Okay, it's a part of the clearing process. Okay. Look here. When I was doing the merging, it say that variable country code FAO AR do not uniquely identify observation in the using data. When we get the message, that means these two variable, country code FAO and year variable together fail to identify each observation uniquely. That is the simple statement. Then what would be the solutions? This problem arises due to data entry and due to various reasons. The one reason is the data entry, or there is a duplication of observations. Okay. So what I did, I didn't go to the depth of the problem. I just apply the solution. Okay. So I'm not saying here that the solution applied here work and work correctly in this particular case. Okay, because of course first you need to diagnose why you are getting this problem, because if I go that detail to that, then that takes time. So I'm not going to that. But the solution of one solution of such kind of problem, if you drop the duplicate observations, we get the solutions. So of course we need to identify the duplicate observation first. So for identifying the duplicate observations, we need to create a ID for each observations. And that I have done by concatenating the file. So eGen1 is the command, that is the extension of generate command, ID variable, and I concatenated the FAO, country code and year. So if I show these two variable, ID, country code, FAO and year, so it's look like this. Look here. So country code has code 1, year has 1990. So the ID has taken a code 11,990. So the first letter is for stand for the country code and the rest one is for the year. And from the data we know one country code having a only one entry for a 1 year. Look here. Then if the one country having a duplicate observation, then the probable reason for that there is a duplication of the entry in the data file. So I'm just applying. I'm not going to check what kind of those duplications are. Of course, we can check that one also. So first, what I have done, I created a ID, and then with the codebook ID, I wanted to ensure there are duplications. Of course, because of those duplication only our observation are not uniquely identified by these two variables. So I ensure that okay, there are 7,923 observation, and out of only 5,823 are uniquely identified, rest are not. Okay, and if the rest are not uniquely identified, so I drop that one. If you want to check the list of those get the list of those observations, then you have to type, I think, duplicate list is the command, duplicate list ID. Okay. So it's saying 0 observation because I have already dropped the duplicate observation. Otherwise, it gives you the list of the all duplicate observations. And then you can see what kind of mistake have you done so that you are getting this nonsense. So anyway, but since I have dropped that one, and if I save, I have already saved this one is with the GDP3, I think, yeah, GDP3. So I clear the memory, go to my meet data again. Okay. And now if I apply that merge 1:1, this one, merge 1:1 country code FOAR using GDP 1. So GDP3 I have to type because I renamed my data file and enter. Now you can see here, I got the data. It's a part of the data management. If you do not know, okay, from here you will start getting the problem. Okay. And for a panel data, our data set must be in a longitudinal format. Now we are having both our meet variable and GDP variable in a one place. So we can delete any irrelevant variable from the data. So let's suppose that this one is your become GDP underscore meet data, where we are having both GDP and meet variable. So try doing by yourself. Okay. In case if you face any problem, then you can check with my code. I'm sharing all the code that we have used here. And we also do not have much time. So only 5 minutes left. Okay. We may spend more time if you have any doubt. But for this, you may take a screenshot. Okay. Or I am sharing, just a minute.
Sir, egen command stands for generate. That is the whole purpose of
Egen command stand for extension of generate command. Extension of generate.
So why won't generate work in this case?
Generate and with the concat function, generate does not work. Okay. Sorry. If you want to learn more on all these things, more on merging, more on egen, or any command that we have used today, so for that we type help in your command window, and let's suppose that you want to know the egen, about the egen function. Help egen, enter this window pop up. In 13 version, you are getting egen in a blue color. I say purple, though I have a color blindness, whatever. So egen, and if you click onto that, a PDF file open. Since I am using 17 versions, if I click onto this blue color, I get this PDF open, and from here you can read more on the egen function, which for other function this command work. And egen function we use frequently when we work with the data, because it has lot of usage. Like if you want to calculate percentile, rank, sum total, row total, okay, you want to generate an ID variable, okay, with the concatenating or by grouping. In every cases we get, and we use this egen command. So here are the usage of egen command. Just have a look of this PDF file. Similarly, if you want to know more on merging, so go with the same procedure, type help, and then merge. Okay.
Sir, actually this PDF version is not available for us. Maybe it's because of the version 13.
It's likely because the software that you are using not installed on your computer. Okay, so that is the reason. Otherwise, PDF the Stata manual comes with all the version of the Stata. So Stata 19 or Stata 12 onward, we are getting Stata manual with the Stata and Stata software. So if you are having a Stata 13, so first you install that onto your computer. Install means install in your C drive. So when we must having an exe file. If you click onto that, and then we have to follow the usual procedure that we follow in case of installing any software onto the computer. So if that has not done on to your computer, then probably we are not getting that PDF. That what I can say on basis of my experience. So I am talking about the merge. So these are the different kind of merge. As I told, 1:1, M:1, 1:M, and
Excuse me, sir.
M:M. You never do the M:M. Yes.
So when I'm using this agent command, so it is showing unknown agent function concat. What would be the possibility that I'm going wrong?
Unknown agent function?
Concat.
Oh.
So
Type this command.
under this.
Where is the command? Type this command, agent ID equal to concat, and under bracket we type 2 variable name.
Yes, sir. I have followed this. So as an outcome, it is showing an error which states unknown agent function concat.
Can't be case.
Actually, that problem came with me, but it was because of the spelling mistake, like the concat. So I think if we can just check with that, it may come. After that, I got the result.
Yeah. Yeah, you can check with the spelling. Okay. So now the both data has come together.
No, sir.
So
It is the same.
which version of
Refresh
Stata are you
spelling,
using?
there is no spelling mistake.
Which version of Stata are you using?
13.
13. Okay, we can rework with the command. Okay, so probably we are making mistakes somewhere. Okay, so I am copy this all command. I'm going to paste on a do file editor. Okay, and saving this one as. Let's give you university name. Paste 1 underscore 1. Christ underscore and save. I save this one. I'm sharing this with you. So I'm sharing on WhatsApp as of now. Okay. So immediately I will share as I end this lecture. Any other doubt?
Sir, and your PPT also, if you can share it, it will be very helpful.
Yeah, I will share that one also. I haven't used PPT today, so tomorrow I will use that. But I will say no doubt. Anything else?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to stop my screen. Yeah, Susanto, please go ahead.
Yes. So, is there any questions or any doubts? I think Sir has made a wonderful presentations and very impactful lecture. So we will continue it till tomorrow, and Sir is coming again for tomorrow. I think it is very worthful for you as well, because it is very difficult to run this or take this panel data analysis, particularly using Stata, because all of them are not well versed. But Sir has made a wonderful lecture for you. So please try to use this, whatever the Sir has shared with you, and maybe do files, you try to redo this. And if you are getting any problem, maybe tomorrow again we share with Sir and get the clarification. And let us continue tomorrow again. So thank you very much, all the participants. Thank you, Sir. And hopefully we will come together tomorrow. Yes. So here, Dr. What is Dibya? Dibya Suneja wants to speak something. Yes, Dr. Dibya June. Dibya June.
No, sir.
Yeah?
I think it is by mistake. No
Okay.
questions.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Krishnaram sir. We
Thank you,
will
Susanto.
continue the lecture in the same time tomorrow.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Okay.
Bye
Thank
bye
you.
to everyone. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.